Just got back from the dentist earlier, and they told me that the abscess that continues to pop up on my gums is a sign that my root canal has gotten reinfected and I might lose that tooth. So that's just wonderful. So it's the November recap for the month. It's December 4th. It's actually my friend Lillian's birthday. Happy birthday, Lillian. I don't think you watch these videos because you're a fake fan, but in case you do, happy birthday. So I'm just gonna excuse me. I'm just gonna go over what happened in November. A lot of sucky things happened in November, just so you know. And we're just gonna start. The first sucky thing that happened was the flu. I contracted what's called flu type A, which is apparently the worst type of flu to have. I'm talking just aches and like the highest fever I think I have ever had since I was a child at like 103, which was crazy. 103? Yeah, I think it was 103. And that was really, really rough because I was sick and then I had the day off from work and then I thought I could come back the next day, but then I came back because my fever went down, but then my fever spiked again. But I came in anyway because I said that I would come in, and I came in and they were like, "Why are you here? You look miserable." And so they sent me back home. Which thankfully eventually I got over it, but Lord, it was rough. So that's that. And I actually am not, I guess, going to talk about this. I thought I was going to talk about it. But this is like my 5th attempt of doing it. And it's funny because people have died, you know, of course, in the past. I've had grandparents die. I've had my cousin, he died very young, rafting. And I've had friends my age die. And I always told myself that death never really bothered me because I never would cry at funerals. In fact, funnily enough, I laugh at funerals. I try not to, of course. I'm like biting the insides of my cheeks trying not to laugh. It's some sort of, it's not funny, but it's almost, it's like if I don't laugh, I cry. And so it's almost awkward in a way because I've always hated the idea of funerals. Me personally, I never want an actual funeral. I don't want to be buried. I don't want to go into the ground to spend thousands of dollars on a casket and just sadness. I would rather just to be cremated and just thrown back to the earth where I belong. And yeah. So my grandfather died. And I'm not going to talk about it. I guess not. But it was hard. It affected me a lot more than I thought it would. But I don't know if it's just because, you know, the other people that have died in my life, I was young, or I wasn't very as close to, you know, my grandfather on my mom's dad's side had passed, but at that point I was practically estranged from that family for being gay. And so while I still have good memories with them, you know, I was sad. It didn't affect me very much. But this was he was not even related to me, funnily enough. It was my mom's side of the family. It was the man her mom married after she got divorced. There's no blood relation, but you would never know that from the way he treated us. I mean, you know, my whole life his name was John. We called him Non because one of my cousins couldn't pronounce his name, so his name was Non. It's hard, but it's okay to talk about just a little bit. But yeah, it was not fun because we had fun. It was real ironic. I was at karaoke night at work, and we were all up in the cafeteria doing karaoke, and I was hyping myself up to do karaoke, and then my mom sent me a text to finalize the funeral date, and I just walked out and I burst into tears, and everyone, my boss came over and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was telling her about him, and just 2 days before that, my childhood cat, not childhood, but one of the cats I had before I left my house, moved out of my parents' house, I got run over. So I was just straight up not having a good time. But I guess I'm not going to talk about it. And I feel like one of those influencers on the internet who just cry in front of the camera for views. But I feel like now that I'm filming and I try to talk about it, it makes me a little more emotional. I guess it still affected me. So I had to go to 2 funerals. The other one, my wife's great aunt passed, and so we had to go to her funeral, and then right after we went to my funeral, and so it was just a day full of, not even a day full of funerals because I had to work that morning. So I just sucked. It sucked. It did. Well, I will say, my Nana let me go through his closet, and I did take some of his. I was supposed to start this video behind me. Now that I'm saying it, I did take some of his clothes, which was cool. He was not a small man. He was a big man. And all his clothes are 2X, 3X, but I still took some. I took this sweatshirt in this video that I just posted. It's a Tennessee sweatshirt. He was a football fan. The last time I saw him was when Tennessee played Georgia. And he invited us over because his daughter, my aunt, was in town. And we went and we watched the football game. And of course, I am not a football person, so I didn't know what was happening. But I was just letting him and my Uncle Ivan just talk about it, and I listened, and apparently it was not a good game because Tennessee was set to win, and then they fumbled right there at the end, so they went into overtime, and then Georgia ended up winning, and it was this whole just time. And they were just so mad, and it's so funny because my entire life growing up, my mom never cussed. My Nana and they never cussed. They never were cussing people. But as soon as we got, like, all of us became like teenagers, it was like these whole new, I had never met these people before. They were cussing. They were talking about sex. They were just, I was like, hello? Like, that's just, it's crazy to me. But yeah, they were cussing up a storm, and they were so mad that Tennessee just fucked it all up. But he was a big Tennessee fan, and so I took one of his Tennessee sweatshirts, and I wore it in that video, and I wear it around the house sometimes. It's big and it's comfy, and I took one of his flannels, and I took one of his jackets, and it was just nice. It was nice to have. So that was the first half of the month. The second half of the month involved Thanksgiving, of course, the wonderful holiday of Thanksgiving. I don't care particularly about the holiday. I like social events. I like being with people, and so I went to my in-laws, and we had all the good food. I made my spicy crackers that my mother-in-law tells me I have to bring to every event ever because I made them once. It's the oyster crackers with the garlic powder and the ranch seasoning and the spicy flakes, whatever they are, the red pepper, the cracked red pepper on, and you melt butter, and then you soak all the seasoning in it, and then you shake them into the oyster crackers, and then you cook them. I air fry mine, and they turn out really good. And so I have to make that every time there is an event because she is obsessed with them, and then I always let her have whatever is left over. So, and then my wife, fun fact, has to make the deviled eggs every year because up until like 2019, her uncle made them. And then one year she just happened to make some, and her nanny told her uncle that he was never allowed to make deviled eggs again, that only Amber could make the deviled eggs because she was just so good at making the deviled eggs. And she made a whole dozen. So like 24 deviled eggs. And they were gone. We took nothing home. They were just completely gone. So she makes really good deviled eggs. And that was fun. Aside from that, the only other thing we really did is my town had a tree lighting. They did this last year, but we missed it. But this year they did this tree lighting thing, where it's this tree. I don't remember what kind of tree it is. Apparently it's a special kind of tree that somebody planted that has to, the way you put lights on it, you have to do like up and down to help like preserve the tree branches. I don't know. It was fun. They were making s'mores, but apparently that was before the tree lighting, so we missed it, sadly. But because we got there at like 20 minutes before the tree lighting began. Because they're supposed to go until 8, but then everybody like left after the tree lighting. And so we walked around. There was like this bookstore we went to that was really neat. And we went to this Mexican like dessert place. And I got an ice cream that was really good. I don't remember what flavor it was, but it was good ice cream. And that was fun to walk around and like do that and just like be out late. And that here at the end of the month, this is just a little footnote because it's not really important. But we went to 2 birthday parties. We go to a lot of birthday parties because when you are a daycare teacher and the parents like you enough, they invite you to the parties. And of course we come because why wouldn't we? Funnily enough, the first birthday party we went to was a Saturday. It was 30 minutes south from where we were. Neither of us have this little boy in our class anymore, but this little boy loves Amber especially. He likes me, but he loves Amber especially. She invites us every year because he just adores her so much. She is like his favorite person even still, even though he's moved up out of her class. And so we went to his party, and oh Lord, it's crazy. I mean, it's a children's birthday party. It was crazy. And then the next day, we went 30 minutes north to go to a different birthday party for the twins. There's a set of twins in my class, and we work with their mom. Well, technically, their mom is my boss, one of my bosses. But I have her twins in my class, and so her twins are obsessed with me. And so we went, and funnily enough, the girl twin is really obsessed with me at school, and the boy twin really likes me too. When I got there, the boy twin came up and hugged me, but the girl twin ignored me the whole time until the very end. And then she didn't want anything to do with every person that came and tried to tell her goodbye and try to get her to wave goodbye. This one woman came up. She said, "You want to say bye to me?" And she goes, "No." As I'm holding her in my arms. And Lord love it, it was cold. Oh, they had it outside because it was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago, but then they caught the flu when it was nicer outside here in Tennessee. But then it was really cold, but she didn't want to have it inside at her house because there was too many people, so we had it outside. Lord, it was cold. Her poor little fingers were cold. But she stayed attached to my hip, and eventually I handed her off to her dad so she could go home and take a nap. But it was just a whole lot of driving, a whole lot of doing. And then that was it. That's all that happened in November, that wise. So I guess I'll just press on to other matters, which is the Spotify. My November recap of Spotify. I've already forgotten, like the Spotify recap, whatever, in the year just came out yesterday. And so I'll talk about that next December monthly update. But for November, my top artist in November was Marina. Pop off Marina. I really was just into listening to her this month. Her new-ish song, Cantissimo, I'm obsessed with. I love that song. And then the second artist was The Killers. I'm talking about The Killers right now in that video, actually. Somebody Told Me was just popping this month. I'm just really into that song. I really like that song. Number 3 was Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish, she just stays, I guess. She stays on my top artists. She's been up there several times, which is funny because she was not in my top 5 artists on my Spotify recap. But she's there. She's number 3. Number 4 is Christabel. Again, he's up there. He's up there. Vic is a singular entity. They're up there. I honestly kind of hate their profile picture. It looks so stupid. I'm more into the, this one. That's very, very dated. Very 2010s. Very early 2020. Very early 20s. 20,000. Whatever. But yeah, they're up there. You know why. I like them. And then number 5 is MCR, because what emo kid does not like MCR? So that's my top 5 artists. My top 4 tracks. Number 1 was Kids by Management. I'm going to say, is it pronounced Management? It's MGMT. Or is it just MGMT? I actually don't know. I never bothered. I only like a couple songs from them, so I actually don't know how to pronounce their name. But I'm going to say Management. Actually, I'm going to look it up right now because why not? Ignore that. MGMT pronunciation. Let's look it up right now. Oh, so it's just MGMT. Okay. It's not. Okay, it's just MGMT. Okay. You learn something new every day. That song's number 1. That is in my winter playlist. Number 2 is Somebody Told Me by The Killers. I feel like that was also last month too. I'm obsessed with that song. It makes me feel better. I think it's because it makes me feel better. It's got a really upbeat rhythm, and I just like how it makes me feel. Number 3 is Memories by Conan Gray, another song on my winter album. Conan, I have put off listening to his new album. I don't know why. Wishbone, and so far I liked it. I listened to the first 4 songs on my way to the dentist and back, and I like it so far. He's a real sad boy, and I like that for him. And number 4, just to remind me of a sad time November was, it was Forwards, Beckon, Rebound by Adrian Linker. That is kind of a sad song, honestly. It was trending on TikTok a little while ago. But it's a good song. I really like, the more I listen to Adrian Linker, the more songs I find that I like. She just has a very wistful, sad voice, and it's really nice. I like it. Oh, I didn't notice the name of that album is Songs. Love that for her. For them. I actually don't know anything about Adrian. I didn't make any new playlist, so that's that. Moving on, I'm going to talk about Danganronpa. I've got a lot to talk about because I finished the game. And, oh my god! Nagito. Oh, I couldn't stand that man, but oh my god, it was really sad when he died. I'm really grateful now that I finished the game because now I can watch all the Komahina edits on TikTok, even though I don't even know what half of them mean. I guess I'm going to have to watch the anime because apparently there's just a ton of lore that I don't know. And everyone's like, oh, Nagito killed his parents with his dog with his luck. And I'm like, where are you guys learning this stuff? This was not in the game, was it? So I guess I'm going to have to, I think it's coming from the anime. I guess I'm going to have to watch the anime. But yeah, he died, and I really thought it was going to be, he killed himself. Because he kind of did. Like, oh my God, he found out who he truly was, and he hated himself so much, and he hated the others so much because they had fallen to despair that he just would stab himself so many times and then put the poison into the fire grenade launchers and just kill himself. So incredibly violent. But I love that for him, honestly, because he wanted to go out, and he went out with a bang. But what was even worse is the fact that Chiaki got executed, and I really thought she was gonna make it out. I thought for sure when she grabbed Monami and she just ran for it during her execution, I thought they were gonna pull a Chihiro alter ego moment and she was gonna get out of there. That was not the case. And so 2 of my favorite characters just gone. By the way, Chiaki and Nagito are my 2 favorite characters from the game. And so that was wild. I could not believe that. Could not believe that. Also, not as funny, but I sure, when I found out that Chiaki was the traitor, I was texting my brother because he also plays Danganronpa, and so I kept him updated as I played. As I was texting him, freaking out about Chiaki, that's when he was actually finding the cat. And I felt horrible. I mean, it was because my mom called me and she's like, you know, this happened. And I'm like, oh, because I was just wigging out. And so I sent an apology text. And I felt horrible. Of course, I couldn't have known. But I felt horrible. And then I finished the game. And the fact that the freaking plot twist was that it was all a simulation. And then because the game started bugging out, and I was like, hello, what is going on? And everything was really, honestly, like, was creepy. Like, the way the game handled it, the way it, like, glitched and, like, people were coming and going, it was so creepy. And it really kind of freaked me out. And, of course, Junko had to come back, because why wouldn't she come back? And she's not Junko, she's AI, which is really ironic, considering how AI is taking over now. I don't know why that's why they decided to remake Danganronpa 2. But it was wild from start to finish. And then freaking Makoto showed up, but it was not the real Makoto. And then the real Makoto showed up, and then Byakuya and God, I'm losing track of what I was doing. Kyoko. I don't know why I forgot her name. Kyoko showed up, and they all just showed up to save the day. But then we learned, even worse, that we're the bad guys. And then I saw a TikTok that told me that it was a recap. It was snippets from the first trial, and it's how they were just so stupid. And it's like, these are actual war criminals, by the way, which is so crazy to think about. And I don't, they talked about, this is just, again, this must be from the anime or something, because people just know that it was Mikan who stole her uterus. But I thought it was a cool parallel. I figured this out in game, that I could only assume this is correct, that Fuyuhiko, he lost his eye when he tried to help Peko, but he was the one who took Junko's eye and put it into his skull. I don't know if, I think that's correct. I'm going to say that's correct, because that makes sense. And that's really, like, kind of neat. Not neat, but, like, it was really good, like, storytelling. And the whole fact that I am Hajime, the main character, is like the ultimate, basically, and he has every talent ever, but they just gave him a lobotomy, and so he just has no hopes or aspirations or interests or hobbies. He's just a lab rat, which is it's just horror. It's really a dark, it's you forget with the funny writing and like the weird sexual content, that it's actually a really dark game. And then you learned more about what the original, like, most tragic event ever was actually Hajime. It was the one who killed everybody. I didn't even realize in the first game that the worst tragedy ever was referring to that blood splattered room from the first game. And then it connected and I was like, oh! And then I'm sure there's more that led, I'm sure, Junko and I forget, Izumaru Komita? I don't remember. Whatever Hajime turns into. I'm sure something happened between them because he's the one who came and uploaded the Junko AI into the system. And then Chiaki comes out of nowhere to save the day, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a very surprisingly heavy story that I wasn't expecting about self-acceptance and how we can live with despair but also still have hope. And I can see why a lot of people consider the second game to be the best game. Because I like the first game a whole lot. The first game is in its own category too. But the second game, I really feel like the theme in it was a lot more impactful. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm really excited to play the second game again when it comes out for the second time. I don't know. Apparently it's just, the second case is just completely different entirely. And then there's different people are going to survive. I did see a gripe that the people, they don't like who survived at the end in Danganronpa 2. They think they weren't important enough. And then aside from Soda, I would have to disagree. I'm sure Soda has his own backstory too. I didn't really talk to him much because his character didn't really interest me much. But y'all are sleeping on my girl Akane. Yes, is she weirdly sexualized? Absolutely. But you have to understand, her backstory is really tragic. I didn't get to finish her backstory completely, like in her free time events. But she just was like, basically sexually like assaulted and molested and abused her entire life. She's like it's like she has a bunch of siblings, and then her mom's boyfriends like were weirdly sexual with her and made her like work jobs without having to wear underwear, and she's always eating because she was literally starving in her childhood. And I'm like, she's just full of trauma, so leave my girl alone, okay? She's just trying to survive. Akane is valid, and I will stand behind that. As for the others, I feel like Fuyuhiko definitely had a lot of growth, and especially with Peko dying. I found his character really interesting, although I wish that because I feel like after the whole thing with like Peko and if it kind of, his story kind of wavered, I feel like I wish there was more, because he was really at the very end, Junko was like, oh, you could be with Peko again, and he was really affected by that. I just wish there was a little more besides that one cutscene when he talked to Akane about Nekomaru, about like somebody sacrificing themselves for you. I wish there was just a little more about that, but besides that, I feel like he's a very valid character also to survive. Sonya, I thought Sonya was really funny. It's really funny that she's the ultimate princess, but then she also is like cussing, and they're really obsessed with her going to the bathroom several times, which was kind of weird. And I was under the impression people really liked her, but apparently she's not really a fan favorite on the internet, so I don't know. I thought she was a funny character. I don't think she deserved to die by any means, but like, I feel like it's valid she survived. And then, of course, me. I say me. I refer to the main character as me because it might as well be me. Who else survived? Is that all of them? Hajime, Akane, Soda, Sonya. No, there's more. Who else was there? It's been a minute since since I've played. Hold on. Oh, now I'm having... Because there were 6 of them. Who am I missing? No. Was there 6? Or is there 5? Hajime, Akane, Fuyuhiko, Soda, Sonya. I guess it's just 5. Okay. No, I was right. It's just the 5 of them, I guess. I'll cut most of that out. But yeah. I mean, that's it. It was really a wild time. And then the fact that they stayed on the island to accept themselves, but also to try and wake up their friends, because their friends were practically brain dead, but maybe they aren't. Maybe they can come back to life eventually. I don't know. It's really interesting. I really liked it. Definitely gonna have to watch the anime. I have not played the island life yet. I kind of did it a little bit, but it was kind of confusing, so I quit. And then I also found that Danganronpa 1 had the school life. That's kind of the same thing, and so I also kind of started that. Because it said I should do that before I did part of the island life, but whatever. I'll have to play that. And then finally, what I've been building up to. What everyone is talking about. You know what it is. Stranger Things. I know Stranger Things nobody can enjoy anymore because it's taken so long to come out, and then half the cast are awful people or whatever. I'm just gonna... I have invested too much time in this. You know, the actors' personal opinions. I don't even care. I mean, I do care. But, like, there's only so much you can do. I can't change other people's opinions. So, Stranger Things. First of all, of course, we finished it all. The 4 episodes it came out with. Dustin is mourning in his own way, and Eddie is just gone. He's mourning Eddie, and he's all emo about it, which I get it. I don't know what he expected, putting that snake in that bully's locker. I don't know why he thought that the man who was ready to kill Eddie and all his friends would not kill the snake he put in his locker. That's just on him. But I don't know why that's the only thing I can think of right now. First of all, unfortunately, I already knew who Mr. What's-It was before it even happened, because I was scrolling through Tumblr a year and a half ago, and I saw those leaks about Jamie Campbell Bower wearing that top hat fedora, whatever it is. And so I already knew. I didn't spoil it for my wife. I didn't tell her I knew. But I knew. I already knew it was him because I saw the leaks on TikTok. Although there are a lot of interesting theories about that. Like, people think that Mr. What's-It might not actually be a bad guy because, you know, if you watch the play, you would know that Henry originally wasn't a bad person. He just found the spyglass, and it showed him, you know, the mind flayer, and it corrupted his whole mind or whatever. I'm sure they'll explain more. I had to look it up. I didn't watch the play. I looked it up. But I'm hoping it'll just explain it more through the show about that. Jamie Campbell Bower looking fine, I will say. I wish we got more of him. Vecna is snatched. People were making fun of it on the internet, but I guess it does make sense that he's snatched because Nancy blew him up and then burnt the far out of him, and he fell 3 or 4 stories. Love that he's snatched. I love that for him. Max is alive. I knew she was coming. I did not expect her to be the one in Holly's little universe that Henry put her in. That was really cool to see, and that fact that she's been living in that cave. Love that for her. I don't know. I don't know if she's ever going to wake up. I have the feeling that she is going to help Holly, but in the process, I don't think she's going to end up making it. But that's crazy. It's a whole lot. And then the Gatorade ads and the Nike ads were a little much. The product placement is a little, I mean, there's always been product placements, but it seemed a little much in my opinion. Also, it doesn't even look like Elle and Mike are even together anymore. They hugged once the entire season. I know Elle has been like training or whatever and being emo about killing Henry. But then they're soft. The people there's no convincing they are soft launching Byler for sure. And let me tell you right now, I don't know how it's gonna end, but if we end up killing Will or Robin, or any of it, we're gonna bury the gays. We give Will superpowers just to kill him off, to make it less bad. Poor little gay boy. I feel like I'm just talking about nothing at this point. I did predict. I feel like that as soon as they said that, 11 went to the man's mind and is like, oh, there's something behind the door I can't see. It's like my kryptonite. And I'm like, oh, it's 8. And then she's like, it's Vecna. And I'm like, it's Vecna? But I thought for sure, I was like, it's gotta be, it's 8. And then they were just so sure all season it was Vecna. And then freaking Hopper's gonna blow himself up. That I was not expecting that. When it revealed, because he kept looking, and I'm like, I thought, because he looked at like the bullet at first, and I thought, oh, is he gonna he's gonna kill, I knew he was gonna kill Vecna, even if he was gonna sacrifice himself. I did not expect for him to have dynamite strapped to his chest the whole time. I'm so glad he didn't blow himself up in that hallway. The whole time I was like, please just check. Make sure it's actually Vecna in there. Because here I am thinking, I'm like, it's 8. It's got to be 8. And it was 8. It was. Which was so cool. I was a little unrecognizable without the hair. But it was 8. And then I saw on the internet people were mad because in the 4th season, there was the D&D scene where Dustin rolls an 8, but they need a 20, and 8 plus 11 plus 1 equals 20. And so they're like, 8's definitely coming back this season. And then people are mad that theory ended up being true. And I'm like, what do you want? What do you want from them? I don't know. Why are you mad that you were right? Whatever. It don't matter. It don't matter. The plot twist in the show, I predicted most of them, either from leaks or just from logic. What I did not predict was Will having powers. I know I mentioned it already before. That I thought for sure when the Demogorgon was leaping towards Mike and all the others, I thought, oh my God, they're about to kill somebody. One of these people are about to die because surely they can't all escape unscathed. Gay boy found himself via Robin's speech and he killed them Demogorgons. He saved all his friends and he has the powers within him. That was an insane moment, and I did not expect it at all, but it was set up so well. And it makes sense because I'm sure whatever Vecna did, when he kidnapped Will all those years ago and put that stuff in him, it was said in one of the other seasons that Henry's blood was used to create the 12 or so, subjects. And so, clearly, Vecna is gathering all these children to make himself a little army, just like Brenner did with all the little children before. And Will was, the first test subject. But to give them their powers, obviously, he basically gave Will the opportunity to unlock those powers, thinking he won't do it because he's too weak. But he underestimated the power of the gay. I cracked myself up. I hope I crack you up too. So there's that. There's that. Stranger Things. I'm excited for Christmas. For of course Christmas, and then Stranger Things, and then I did not buy no movie ticket to see no finale. I will be doing that in the comfort of my own house. So that's it. that's it. That's all I have to talk about. I ran 40 minutes, but I know I spent a ton of time struggling to think about Danganronpa 2's ending characters. I don't know why. I don't know. But yeah, that is it. That is it for November. That's all I have to talk about this month. So, I'm sorry for my squeaky chair. I'm supposed to preheat the oven to start the pizza. I need to do that. This video went on a lot longer than I thought it would. So go ahead and do some subscribing. I'm gonna take a drink of water because I was supposed to be drinking this and I didn't. Let me tell you, my ADHD brain, self-diagnosed by the way. I came home from work and I made myself taquitos, and just like the freezer taquitos. And I was like, I brought this water to work and I drank a good deal of it. And then I filled it up before I left. And I was like, water with my lunch sounds really good with my taquitos. That's going to be so good. And so I put it in here, and then I went in there to cook my taquitos in the air fryer. And then I opened the fridge and my brain was like, look, it's a vanilla Coke. You need something for lunch. And I'm like, I'm going to open that. I'm going to drink the Coke. And so I popped it open, cracked it open, and I drank a vanilla Coke for lunch. And then I came in here and I saw my water sitting in here. I was like, I wanted to drink that for my lunch. I drank the Coke because I had opened it. And when it's not fizzy anymore, it's no longer good. So I drank the Coke. And that is okay because I'm going to drink water for dinner when I cook my mushroom pizza. Subscribe to my channel if you like this. The next videos will be what I got for Christmas. Future me will do, of course. And a December recap. That probably will come out more like January. Because I will be hosting a New Year's party. Like I do every year. Something that I need to start. I've already planned. But it's going to be a scrapbooking party. And so I need to acquire scrapbooking materials. So that's a lot I need to do. I need to stop yapping. It's 43 minutes and I need to go preheat my oven for the pizza. Bye!